It's like been kind of a long time since I made one of these, but yeah, I wanted to make one because I'm trying to like habitualize myself into making these. So it's kind of late. I'm planning on working for a little bit on my album. So I wanted to talk about what I've been doing for these last couple of weeks. Primarily, I've been like an adult. Um, so, nursing school just finished for the semester. So I had like a ton of exams. And now my exams are done. So I get to work on whatever I want. And as a result, what I'm going to be doing is working on the album, obviously. So, what was I thinking about? But I haven't been not doing anything with it in the last couple of weeks. So, I guess I wanted to talk about um, what I've been doing. Um, so, the first thing is I've been trying to figure out some workflow stuff with just like how did things go like from brain to like a finished a finished track or finished um and I guess I kind of figured out how that's gonna work for the most part. um I think that what I'm going to be doing is essentially um, using both Studio One and MuseScore simultaneously to kind of write music. So like basically, I play into mute. Either write and play into MuseScore, and then kind of create like a Franken track as I'm writing things, and that's just going to allow me to do a lot more higher level thinking about like things like form, um, things like development of motifs, a lot easier. And I think it's just going to make an easier experience. Because prior to this, I was doing like handwritten scores, and I think that that's like inefficient. So yeah. Um, the second thing is drums. I don't know. I bought. I ended up buying some Ugertone drum samples because they're going out of business and they were really heavily discounted, and it just makes sense. So I don't know if that's going to be like what I use for Final Mix. Obviously, like I don't even know a drummer personally, so let alone somebody who could drum the specific type of music that I'm making. Although that would make things easier if I had a drummer as a collaborator and they could just like help. Um, or I guess I'll just be making the beats and stuff like that. I don't. It's a task that I'm up for, but obviously it could be a little bit easier if I had help. And then I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I might be done talking, but I guess I want to like address what. Oh well, I guess there's vocals too. I keep on like forgetting to talk about vocals, but maybe I'll talk about that after I'm done in the post stuff. So let me like kind of discuss what I'm going to be doing now. Is basically I'm just going to be um, writing the first track. I got rid of most of what I had down originally, like 2 weeks ago, um, and I'm kind of starting on new ideas. And I can talk more about what those new ideas are exactly later. But basically, right now, I just want to get to writing. So, very excited. Yeah, so like, okay, yeah, I worked for about an hour and a half. I honestly didn't get a ton of stuff done, but like, I did start working. And often, like, I think when you're doing a creative pursuit, um, like having a day where you're just like trying to start and trying to like reconnect. I definitely did do productive trying to like, well, I guess when you're trying to start and you're trying to like reconnect, like, oh, I'm trying to like get back in and having that like off. moment is necessary. So I don't think that this was a loss. I did do productive work for sure. I corrected a bunch of little stuff in the score, things like, oh, this should repeat, or like this goes on for one too many bars. And then I did start working on kind of like, my idea was to have um, that the form of the piece would sort of mirror kind of like like a sort of a sonata form. Um, so basically, there would be, it's essentially, sonata form is essentially like an ABA form with sort of modifications. So for people who don't know, um, the A form, so the A section essentially has a few different parts, but it's basically two different main themes that are in contrasting keys, the transition that modulates. So basically, what I had written from the stuff that I did earlier, or not so much earlier, but like earlier this week, was I had like, now I'm blinking. I basically had an A section. It was like a classical theme. It's basically a classical theme. I think, actually, now that I think about it, you can classify it, but I forgot. Anyways, and what I did was I worked on the transition, and the transition is a canon. You're allowed to do that. The transition's a canon. There's strict rules for canon. And I was also thinking about, I want to use a lot of kind of like Renaissance technique, um, like Renaissance contrapuntal technique, and like um, I know a few, how to do a few of them, um, and what's funny is that there's only one resource for learning Renaissance counterpoint, really, which is Peter Schubert's textbook on modal counterpoint. And the funny thing is that everything that I learned about how to do it was, I learned how to improvise Renaissance counterpoint from Peter Schubert. Um, and I really don't like him as a person. Um, so, but I guess maybe I should read his textbook. And I'm interested if he has other techniques, because really, like, if you learn counterpoint from improvising, it takes a long time to learn how to improvise, like contrapunto fugato, or like, even like canon at the fifth. So I only know like a handful of techniques, how to improvise on them. So I'm thinking like, instead, like, so I'm thinking like, I have to go and read the book and learn more techniques on counterpoint. And I think I don't. I read the introduction, and it's like, you have to care about the hard rules, but I don't think I need to care about the hard rules. I'm writing black metal. I'm not writing Renaissance counterpoint. I'm just using the ideas as inspiration. So I don't think I'm going to have a lot of issues um, adapting that into my music, I guess. Vocals. I wanted to talk about vocals. I'm working on trying to get vocals. Um, I I think I have two different sort of thoughts about vocals. Is one of them is I can take some time to learn the technique. I think it's slow, but I have a good head start because I like making silly sounds with my mouth. So like, I'm not going to do it right now because it's a little bit loud and it's late and I have neighbors. But I do have like some vocal technique in sort of like the metal sphere, because I just like making silly sounds. And the so I could try to like properly learn it and try to like not hurt myself, or I could just do vocals that would like hurt me and like scream at the top of my lungs, you know, and just like do a one take, and then try to edit in Melodyne if I don't like the take, and end up with just like whatever you end up with. I don't know. I don't think that there's a wrong answer. Um, because if you do vocals that will hurt you like once or twice, you're not going to be permanently damaged from it. If you do that over and over again over the course of a lifetime, that's where you're talking about like serious harm. And yeah, so I don't know. I think it just depends. I like doing things the right way, so I'm probably going to try to like learn proper metal vocal technique. But I think vocals are really important. I was thinking about doing this all instrumental, but I kind of dropped the idea after like really listening to like some of my favorite albums and stuff. And like not all of them have like constant vocal presence. A lot of them have like vocals at like the climax, and like it just adds this like raw like power to um like what's in the music, and this like extra energy that like pushes you over the edge of intensity. And it's like it's very impressive. Or not I don't know about impressive, but I think it is very necessary in black metal. um what else? um oh, I don't know. Yeah. So it's, yeah. No, I think that's it. So I guess I'll stop it there.